Hello, my beautiful friends. Happy Lionsgate. It is 8/8/23. Lionsgate is a portal. Talked about it a little bit before, but if this is the first time you're watching, the stars align, and Samhain is the thinnest veil between the living and the dead, and Lionsgate is the thinnest veil between humans and the angels. So it's a day where you can ask for clarification and work on manifesting things that you want in your life. During my lunch break, I did a meditation, and after work, I did some meditation, kind of working on some things because I've been low energy, and that actually is a sign of this astrological shift and the portal opening and closing. People who are high vibration sometimes kind of like plummet and don't know what to ask for. Like it's like sitting on the cosmic Santa's lap. You get to ask for stuff, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't know what to ask for. I have a pretty good life, and I pay attention to people who don't have great lives, so I feel like I don't really need to ask for anything. I mean, of course, I would love to have infinite funds so that I can help everybody, right? That would be awesome. I'd like to have infinite wisdom so that I could, direct people the right way. There's those things that I want. And, but I don't really know how to kind of put it down, right? Like, how do you ask for stuff? I don't know. So I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at meditating. And the thing that I've asked for from the universe, which is something that I ask for all the time, is to accept signs better. Because I see signs all the time. I see numbers, 1111, all the time. I see 555, 444. I see all of those numbers all the time. And at very like key times when I'm like, oh, I should pay attention. That's a sign. But then my academic brain, my brain that is scientific, always figures out a way to discount that. And so really through meditation today, like the number one thing I'm getting is believe. I just have to believe. I have to stop talking myself out of everything and just believe. So, for example, the night that my turtle died, and I know this sounds nuts, but as I was driving home and I had to pick up my son, there was a very quick amount of time of the turtle dying. There was a person in the house who was all about them and very narcissistic, and I'm trying to like figure out whether the turtle had died or not. And I was, of course, very sad because I've had this turtle for 19 years, or 18 years, 18 and a half years. And then I had to go pick up my son. And, I'm just driving home and I'm sad and I'm just frustrated because I don't have anywhere to go when I'm sad, right? Like everybody in the world comes here to me when they're sad. Everybody comes to me for advice. Everybody comes to me for potions and healing and blah, blah, blah. But I don't have anywhere to go. And I mean, obviously Dave, but, other than Dave, like I don't have anybody to go to, when I'm sad. And as I was driving home, I turned this corner and on the street that kind of is around the corner from my house, and this postcard thing, like just a square piece of paper, so it wasn't a leaf, there isn't a tree there, fell from the sky right in front of my Jeep, and I couldn't stop, it fell there, and it just kind of gently came down from the sky and landed right on the street, and I drove over it. So then I went back later to see if it was there, because the thing I thought of instantly was that was a message from Taylor saying thank you. That was a postcard from her saying thank you, I'm okay, thank you for a long life. That was the sense I got right then. And of course, I'm thinking, my rational brain is like, no, that's just you. That's what you want to feel. That's what you want to feel right now because you're sad and you missed your turtle, and I was worried that we had killed her because we had the air conditioner too high or we didn't feed her right or something, and it was like, no, I lived a long life. Thank you for taking me in, when I was going to be set free and I would have had no way to eat pigs and french fries in the wild. So I'm like, okay. So I go back to look for it. It wasn't there. And I did not imagine this thing. It came just gently, like a leaf does, gently. But it wasn't a leaf because it was square and there's not a tree there. It was from Taylor. It was a sign from Taylor. It was a sign from Spirit letting me know that Taylor got where she needed to go all right. And now she's enjoying, apparently a lake that has french fries and, I don't know, pigs running around. So she can have all that all day. So my Lionsgate hope, is really to believe in the abilities that I have and to believe that I do see spirits. The other thing that really came to me today was removing negative energy from my life. There are people in my life who are, let me back up a minute. There are people in all of our lives that are positive and negative, right? And you work with them, you don't have a choice, right? So you work with them, or they're in your family and you don't have a choice because they're in your family, right? There's neighbors, you don't have a choice because you live there, right? But the people that I choose to put in my life, people who I've chosen for my life, for my boat, if you've heard that analogy that I talked about before, that need to go because they bring negative energy, or they're narcissistic, or they're all about them, or they have to be experts about everything, and they rattle my energy, and so they don't serve the highest good for me, and they need to work with their spirits. They need to work with on their path. They need to be working on their path, and it maybe is like, you're not in my boat now, maybe you'll come back to my boat later, but right now I need to move that negative energy around. I need to stop trying to save the world, and really be more careful about the people that I put in my boat. And I have some great people in my boat that don't get enough attention because I have all this negativity in my boat that I'm trying to save these folks, or not necessarily save them, but for lack of other people in the boat, because I don't want to be lonely. I kind of keep them on my boat so that I'm not lonely. But honestly, like the vibe is negative and the energy is negative, and they have to get right with spirit, and work on their own shadow work on their own paths. And of course, most of them do not even know language like that, or even have language like that. So, so what I'm getting from my Lionsgate message is really to really believe in my gifts, my gifts of intuition. As you know, if you've watched the channel, I see dead people. I don't actually, but I do sense when bad things happen. And as recent as, miscarriages that people I know, who I'm not even friends with, have had. The most recent thing being a friend of ours, her daughter died of cancer, and I woke up and I knew it. I knew she had died. And I wasn't even, I actually didn't know her personally, I just knew her mother. And I wasn't intimately involved in the care or the taking care of it. Just, I sat up, I was like, oh my gosh, something happened to X. And then I texted one of my friends who is psychic, and I said, holy crap, blah, blah, blah. And she said, blah, 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 died. And she didn't know it either, but she was psychic. She felt it too. And this is like 6 a.m. So you have these these two psychics get together at 6 a.m. in the morning, texting each other for this particular purpose. And she didn't know her either, but we know the mom. And there was a direct message that had to go to the mom that channeled through my friend who is psychic. And, so it just is like, so these things happen, and I have these gifts, and I need to accept them, and I need to stop letting my academic brain get in the way. But we're going to see if Spirit has any other messages through our Rune Stone reading. So, all right, we have our beautiful, beautiful green man who sits with my stones all day. They sit by me when I'm working. And then we have our Iona stones. If you're new to the channel, for my 50th birthday, which happened in October, in April I went to Scotland to the Isle of Iona, which is where they believe the Druid College was, and it was Christianized by St. Columba. And so the first Christian Druids existed on Iona, and coexisted with St. Columba. And so the Celtic Christian movement was born. So these are stones that I got there. This is one that I picked myself, and this is one that I purchased in the store. And they go on either side of my reading. I have ordered, by the way, some fancy equipment for my house so that you can actually see the stones, because I feel like I like the idea of just hanging out in my kitchen, because I have all the fancy equipment at work, and this is what I do for work. I just feel like I don't want it to be fake or fancy or produced, which is why I don't do it. But I mean, it would be really helpful if you could see the stones. You don't need to look at my face. Nothing to see here. All right, what is our present energy? We're going to do a full Celtic cross. Let's see what Spirit has to say for our Lionsgate message. beautiful sunlight coming in right now. Okay, our present energy is Hagelos. And as I always say, this may resonate with me or may not, and it may, take what is for you and leave the rest for other people. Okay, what brought us to Hagelos? Athala. What are the forces we can't control? There's as. What are the forces we can control? He knows. What is a potential outcome realizing that Rune Stones do not predict the future? Isa. Again, Isa. In the stuck position and the potential outcome. Well, this is an interesting reading. Hagelos, of course, means hail or chaos. And it could just be shaking up. It could just be the shaking up of something. Something has to change. And I think for me, in the message that I'm thinking of, in terms of Lionsgate, is that in order for me to move forward, I'm going to have to lighten this boat, and that's going to cause some chaos. Not chaos, because I'm not an argumentative person. I'm not. I don't like conflict. So it's not like ass whippings are going to happen or something like that. That's not the energy. But it's more of a, I really have to kind of take stock of the people that are in my life and the experiences that are in my life. I really have to take a good look at all the things that I do and all the things that I want to do. And really, I really need to, think about things that aren't for my highest good, right? And really consider things that I just do out of habit or things that I think I'm doing out of loyalty, but I can pass away. And that'll shake things up a little bit. Right? What brings you to this knowledge? Well, Othala is all about ancestral wisdom, right? And it's all about, the ancestors, when I was thinking before, the ancestors were really, really calling to me to protect my energy and know my power, and to not apologize for it and not let people belittle it. I think that's the chaos. Those are the people that have to leave the boat, are the people who belittle what it is I believe and belittle how it is I practice, and who make my energy negative because they are negative themselves and don't know their own power, don't know their own energy. So I think I just need to lighten my boat. I mean, that doesn't mean I can't swim by them on their what is it called? These little blow-up things, Like, I can say hi to them, it's not like I have to ignore them, but, as far as my personal crew of people that are in my boat, I think I needed some new crew. What I'm hearing here, I'm like, there are people who are more like-minded to how I view the world, and the ancestors are just, confirming that I need to find people in my energetic space who use the same language I do, really. At some level, I talk about things and nobody really understands what the hell I'm talking about, except for people who are kind of into this thing. I talk about spirit, and I talk about light and love, and I talk about manifestation and meditation and all this stuff, and not all my, but many people in my life just kind of blinking you're so weird. I'm weird. But some people don't think I'm weird. Some people think this is normal. I have to go find my tribe. There's what I can't control are, there are some people who are just stuck, and people who are just, they're going to be a thorn because they're just going to exist in my existence, and I just kind of have to, not put up with it, but, I just have to, just recognize there are people who are never going to get there, right? There are people who just their energy is never going to get to where my energy is, or even on the same plane. But the thing I can control is Torch, which is Kinaz. And it's vision, creativity, inspiration, vitality, improvement, hope, passion, light, creativity, enlightenment, teaching and learning, ancestral knowledge, warmth and illumination, creativity and clarity, controlled fire, spiritual strength. And, and I can control that. But I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to get stuck on like my vision of what spirit wants. I need to make sure that spirit is channeling through me, and so that light, love, and wisdom are spread. So it's a just a reminder from spirit that I have gifts. You have gifts. There isn't anybody special out there that can do things that you can't do. You can tap into mediumship. You can tap into, intuitive things. You have to work on it. You have to learn to listen to spirit better. And so here's the thing that's hard for me. This is Confessions with Squeak. I want something, I want to see a sign. Hey, spirit, I want to see a sign right now. Show me a spirit. Show me a sign. Shit, I didn't see a sign. There are no signs. It's not the way it works, because on the spirit world, there's no timeline, right? It doesn't work the way it works on the human side, right? So they show signs when they can. So my nephews just showed up, so I'm going to do a quick card pull, but I forget what I was talking about. Just pull a card and see if spirit has anything to add. Bloodwood came out for wisdom, power, and transformation. We have the Green Man came out. Just, my guy. Bloodwood came out. Green Man is nature, connection, and source. Bloodwood is wisdom, power, and transformation. And one of these went flipping on the floor, which is the hair. See my messy kitchen behind me. And that is otherworld, shape-shifting, and fertility. So again, Lionsgate gives birth to new ideas. And some of the new ideas are some of the things that you already knew you had to do, which is lighten your load, kick people out of your boat that don't speak the same language that you do. That doesn't mean that you have to ignore their boats. You can, wave to their boats and whatnot. But you want to be empowered by people around you. And if people bring their negative energy, because you know how that goes, right? Sometimes people say the right words, but they are really negative, and they're passive aggressive, and they, put you down, without putting you down. But they're really putting you down. You don't need those people either. Okay, let's take 3 passes from Earth Wisdom. That's one. Pass 2. Is that pass 3? I don't know if you want to call to do one more. That was it. It's on the bottom. Clarity is on the bottom. And we had the joy card. So the joy of your life comes from being with people who you can bring light and love to their life, and for those who bring light and love to your life. You deserve joy. Also, you don't always have to be the torchbearer. It's not always up to you to be the person carrying that torch. You can let other people carry torches into your life too. So, as you celebrate Lionsgate today, think about the things that serve you. Think about the things that you can let go. Think about the things that you want to manifest in your life. Light, love, joy, wisdom. Those are the things I'm hoping for. I am wishing you all the very best in light and love. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.